So let's go ahead and run some tests and learn everything there is to know about the Radscorpions of Fallout New Vegas. As there are many multiple variants depending on level, I'll be covering the base templates for Radscorpions, which are small, large, and queen. Bark Scorpions will be covered in the next episode. So there are 62 small Radscorpions found throughout the Mojave. There are 3 large Radscorpions, which are all found in Camp Searchlight, and 2 Radscorpion queens, one inside of the Camp Searchlight fire station, and one inside of the Scorpion Burrow. It should also be noted that there is a large dead Radscorpion to the side of the road before getting to Nipton. It has the quest item box checked to prevent it from despawning, and despite being ID'd as large, it uses the small Radscorpion as an actor base. When you first find this Radscorpion, there are giant worker ants that will walk up to it, and it looks like they're making a meal out of the Radscorpion. I love little details like this because they always just bring a little more life to the Mojave. There was also something called FFEU-05 Radscorpion. Inspecting it led me to this place, which is worthy of its own coverage, but taking a look at the FFEU-05 Radscorpion, we find that it's looking at a fridge which is suspiciously ID'd as Hydrant Ref. If we check out the use cases for this specific scorpion, this is the only one ever placed anywhere, but other things in the game use its reference. Immediately what came to mind was the Kingsmember water pump guard, but after a thorough rundown on him, I found that he uses something completely different called the water pump bark activator. So this gave me a hunch that it was simply leftover assets, and after checking Fallout 3, I was correct, but Fallout 3 still had no actual use cases for this particular scorpion other than this cell. So I assumed it would remain a mystery until I found a unique quest attached to it, and after reading some of the dialogue, I realized that this was the encounter where some wastelanders find a fridge, but to get the water that's inside it, they have to fight off a Radscorpion. It makes me really wish that New Vegas had just used these random encounters from Fallout 3 to flesh out the world a little more, but we're getting a little too sidetracked, so back to the Radscorpions. So all Radscorpions are mutated insects, do not have a weapons list, do not record female in voice type, but this is where small Radscorpions differ from the large and queens. Small Radscorpions will pull from the Death Item Radscorpion 100 list, which can spawn up to 2 Radscorpion poison glands in the inventory. They also use the CS Radscorpion combat style. This is different from the large and queen Radscorpions, which upon death their inventory will be filled with items from the Death Item Radscorpion Giant 100 list, which still only contains Radscorpion poison glands, but it can spawn up to 4 of them. These Radscorpion poison glands are worth 25 caps, and with a weight of only 1, they are actually a pretty decent value to weight ratio. There are only 2 Radscorpion poison glands found in the Mojave, and those are placed on a table at the Red Rock Drug Lab. Besides just using these things to make some caps, you can also use them to make antivenom, Hydra, Silver Sting, and Tremble, or you can take them to Ruby Nash, who will use them to make some Radscorpion casseroles for you. Something that surprised me is that there's actually Radscorpion eggs in the game, although they're not placed anywhere in the map, and they do not spawn inside of Radscorpion's inventories. They were supposed to be a part of the Bleed Me Dry quest. Radscorpion eggs have a script attached to them, and at the top there is a note that reads, "This support code follows the same pattern I used in VMS-21A's support quest. Only when Red Lucy sends players to search for the eggs does the code run its bulk of functions. Eventually, once all eggs are in-game, this code will expand to enable the same features for all creature types I allow to be captured for the Thorn." Signed, George. All Radscorpions are evil and have a disposition base of 35, but getting into the stats, we're going to see a lot of differences here. So first covering small Radscorpions, starting at level 8, they'll have 6 strength, 4 perception, 5 endurance, 4 charisma, 5 intelligence, 4 agility, and 7 luck. A combat skill of 40, 70 health, 35 attack damage, 64 attack reach, 90 turning speed, 10 foot weight, 0.5 base scale, meaning they're only half the size of the original Radscorpion model, 50 fatigue, and a speed multiplier of 150%. They have a critical chance of 7, 3 melee damage, 2.5 unarmed damage, 20 poison resistance, and 8 radiation resistance. These resistances are the same across all of these Radscorpions. Next up are large Radscorpions, which mostly have the same stats, but compared to small Radscorpions will have 1 more strength, 2 more perception, 1 more charisma, and 1 more agility. They also have 20 more in combat skill, over double the health at 150, almost double the attack damage at 60, a foot weight of 15, a base scale of 1, 150 fatigue, and 3.5 unarmed damage compared to the small Radscorpion's 2.5. Now the differences between the Queen Radscorpion and the large Radscorpion, we'll see 50 extra health, a base scale of 1.5, and 100 less fatigue coming in at 50. Now looking into factions, we see that small Radscorpions are in the Creature faction, Creature Hit Scorpion faction, and the Rad Scorpion faction. Large and Queen Radscorpions, however, are only in the Creature Hit Scorpion and Radscorpion faction. Looking into AI data, we see that small Radscorpions are very aggressive, brave, helps friends and allies, they have a neutral mood, 20 energy, 50 responsibility, and an aggro radius of 1100. Looking at large and Queen Radscorpions, they step up to maximum confidence level at foolhardy, have 30 extra energy, and almost double the aggro radius at 2000. In AI packages, we see the same as usual, and in inventory, small Radscorpions have a carry weight of 210, while the large and Queen have 220. In actor effects, small Radscorpions use Radscorpion 1 poison, which has a magnitude of 3 for 5 seconds. They also have the Radscorpion DT actor effect, which increases damage threshold by 5, but these are different for the large and Queen Radscorpions. They use the Radscorpion 2 poison, which does an extra 5 damage and lasts twice as long at 10 seconds. And they have the giant Radscorpion DT, which gives them 18 damage threshold, which is actually pretty high. As for blood, all Radscorpions share the same organic blood, both the spray and decal, as well as the claw impact dataset. So Radscorpions make like 40 different sounds, so I'm just gonna play a handful of them for you now. And now we get to check out their total survivability ratings and hunter scores. These ratings have changed since last time. I've updated all the calculations and the scale. So if you would like to understand how they work, I have a little video right here I'll put up on screen that'll kind of explain what's going on here. But anyways, small Radscorpions come out to 173 out of 1000, larges score 281, and Queens score 305 out of 1000. Now checking out their hunter scores, we see small Radscorpions coming in at 0.578, larges get 0.996, and Queens get 0.918. I also wanted to update the Radroach's scores. The last calculations weren't all that great. So Radroach's score 73 out of 1000 and have a hunter score of 0.109 out of 1000. Well, that covers everything. Have a good one. Peace.